Hello, everybody. Guess who's back again? Amy and Lockie are back.
Yes, we are. Do you want me to sing? I'm not going to do that yet. No. That's what we said in season 1. If we got X amount of followers or listeners or shares, I can't remember, I would do a Luke Combs cover.
Oh.
But
and
we
you've been
haven't.
practicing.
I have been practicing quite a lot. I've got a lot of time on my hands over here.
Hi, I'm Amy Shepherd.
I'm Lachlan Stewart.
And although we have different last names,
We're married. Now, we've been told the secret to a successful marriage is communication. So we're going to talk it out every week, share our challenges and pet peeves. Then we're setting each other some goals.
Some couple goals. Couple Goals, the podcast, is for those who might be looking to laugh their way through challenging scenarios that all couples go through.
Occasionally, we might even get some other couples to join in.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Hit subscribe and tune in every week to hear our weekly couple goals.
Well, here we are, season 2 of Couple Goals, episode 1. We are so excited to be back. We've had a great break. We've moved countries. We've moved across the world. And
We've made new friends.
We've finally set up our new podcast rig. And a big shout out to our Patreon members because you guys, your support has made it possible for us to buy all this new gear, and now we can continue our podcast. And of course, we'll be dropping the video of this podcast in the Patreon.
The support has made it possible for us to buy the new gear.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't
Did
even
you not
know.
know that?
No, I just thought we paid for it.
Well, no, Patreon members paid for it.
Awesome.
Essentially.
Sweet. I wasn't aware of that. That's even cooler. I'm very excited about that. So you mentioned to me yesterday or the day before, you said, let's get back on the podcast. I was actually enjoying having a break because I've got my own podcast and we're doing a lot of other stuff. But I have missed you guys and I have missed talking about our couple stuff.
Yeah.
Couple stuff.
This was kind of like therapy. It's almost like a little date for us.
It was. The amount of times I've said, so in our men's group, I've been like, if you want to find a way to really have some fun with your relationship, start a podcast together because you're committed to talking every week about pet peeves, goals, and random other stuff, which you guys have asked questions, which I think was great for our relationship. So couples, maybe we should change the name.
To what?
Couples Therapy with Lockie and Amy, and we're just hashing our crap out. Nice mug.
Thanks. Actually, this is one of my Patreon merch earner mugs that you can get if you sorry, the way Patreon set it up is really strange. But if you're a member for 3 months, you get a piece of merch every 3 months, essentially. And this is the first one. I'm sure some of my Patreon members have received this mug, I hope. Let me know if there's any issues. But yeah, it's Happy Juice. God, I'm stuck all in my hands. Happy Juice. And inside it, of course, is coffee.
And can you please, I'm only thinking about this now. Let us know what you think about these microphones. One thing I get criticized, I've even got a guy coming on the podcast next Saturday and he's like, I'll come on your podcast as long as I don't have to wear that goofy headset. So what we used to wear was the gamers headsets, like similar to this, but it had the microphone attached. The reason why I loved it was the audio quality was very consistent. It didn't matter whether you were looking at a person or it didn't matter where you were looking. It followed you.
And it was so easy to set up.
Yeah, so even though people think you look like a twit, I would take one for the team. I'll look like a twit just to ensure that the audio quality is better. And what I've noticed is that every time you look at me, I notice the audio quality. And I don't know whether that's just on our end or your guys' end. So let us know.
Yeah, because we can always get other mics.
We will I think we're going to bring them back.
Yeah, well, this all came in a pack. So I'm not sure if these mics are going to be the ones that we use for all of season 2. But
the lesson in that is just start.
Mm-hmm. All right, so life in America, hey? Should we start there?
Let's start there.
We have been here for...
We're pretty much veterans now. It's 21st of January, 2024. We arrived here on the 4th of October, 2023.
So nearly 4 months.
That's like, yeah.
It's gone so quick. I can't believe it. Before we know it, we'll be here for a year. So we have 3-year visas. We're going to try and stay here for the 3 years. As long as we can skip winter, I think we'll make it.
Well, I don't know. We were talking about this the other day, and in our group chat, so we've obviously got the other siblings and their partners, and everyone's been like, it's horrible. And look, the cold weather is definitely not what we're used to. However, I think we're so used to such warm weather all year round. It's like what we're comfortable with. I think what I appreciate about the cold is it's different. And I think there's a great book, and I've spoken about it on here, but like 18 Summers.
Oh, yeah.
And we're only, for example, we might only have 40 winters where we're actually free and moving well and stuff. So it's like, I want to enjoy a winter. Like, we've never really had a snowed winter.
No.
So I'm actually appreciating, as much as, yeah, it's fucking cold and it's slippery on the ice and we're kicked out of the pool. Like, there's so many things that are taken away. Yeah. I still love it.
I think we should talk about the pool because a couple of days ago I put out a call to Instagram to ask us questions for the podcast. So I think we should go through some of those. And there were lots of questions about the cold pool and the plunging, why we're doing it, why we got kicked out. So maybe let's
Can you still believe we got kicked out?
I know, it's rude, isn't it?
Like, I'm blown away.
So the reason we've been doing cold plunges is because we need a new routine, right? So we're not really working, essentially. Well, you're not. And I am trying to get things going with the band and my country stuff. So there's a lot of times where we actually have nothing to do in the day. So we started a new routine where we like go to the gym, we'll go for an ice bath, we'll do content, we'll write songs. So it feels very much like COVID in that sense, in terms of like routine's been thrown out the window. You've just got to create something for yourself. So the ice bath really has been part of that routine. I think it's been a really important part of that routine as well because there are many benefits to ice baths.
So many benefits.
Before
we dive into benefits, because some people care about it, some people don't. There's even a lot of people. We've had our friend Courtney Wilson doing it, and people were just like, "You can't do that. You're going to get hypothermia." Blah 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 blah.
It's controversial.
And it blows my mind that it is. Like, of course, if you stay in an ice bath for a ridiculous amount of time, just like if you sat in a freezer, you would become hypothermic. No different if you sat in a fucking hot tub or a sauna for too long, you would fucking melt. It's common sense, but you're talking to us like we're uneducated idiots. Thank you, rant. However, what do you get in the ice bath for outside of the routine? Is there any benefits that you personally enjoy?
Getting in the ice bath?
Yes, and getting out of it.
I think it's just like, it's such a challenge, a mental challenge. And it's actually like, it's always getting in the ice bath is not that hard. Being in the ice bath for 30 seconds to a minute is not that hard. But the challenge is psyching yourself up to get there. It's kind of like going to the gym. It's like once you're there, it's like whatever. But putting on your shoes and psyching yourself up to get out of the house is the real challenge. And you just get really scared and you hype yourself up and you get anxious. But once you're in there and you've done it, it's like you've conquered something for the day. And it's a quick challenge, like it's 30 seconds. Or sometimes I'll just like be like, okay, my goal is just to get in and get straight out. And once I've done that, I'm like, great, like that was a huge achievement for the day. So that's why I really love doing it. And then you get the benefits, like you feel euphoric after, it wakes you up if you're feeling, puffy or drowsy, like it helps all of that.
Definitely helps with inflammation. Definitely. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But that being said, it doesn't come without risks, and I would definitely make sure you look into it. Nothing comes without risks, though. Yeah, it's like
life is risky.
You walk down the street and there's risks. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're gonna die of a heart attack," and yeah, I mean, if you've got heart issues or if you've never done cold plunge, maybe don't get straight into the ice.
Yeah,
like I would build up to it. We've been doing this since it was
2017.
Well, yeah, our gym has an ice bath, but here in Nashville, we kind of built up to it because the temperature has slowly been dropping. So
yeah,
there is that.
People it's very interesting with social media culture as well. Like we've literally been doing it. I was on a streak until we got kicked out. I was on 53 or 54 days straight. But when we first got in, the temperature was 8 degrees Celsius. So I think like 44 Fahrenheit. And then it's slowly been dropping and slowly dropping. And then we had literally a week or 10 days where it was 1 degree, right? It still looked like a pool. There was no snow. There was nothing. And everyone was like, cool, whatever. They're getting in the pool. And then the snow happened and it started freezing over. The pool temperature was still 1 degree, but it just looked shocking to everyone because of the snow and the ice. But it was no different. The temperature was still the same. We had an ice bath last night. That was the coldest we've ever done. That was 0 degrees. That was very cold.
That was freezing.
But we didn't just go from 0 to 100. It's like you condition yourself, as with anything done responsibly. You build up to it. You don't just go try
stress management, isn't it?
Oh, amazing. Well, the reason, all right, so because I knew you were about to ask me, I was going to answer why I love doing it. 2 reasons. One, I think we have very comfortable lives. Like if you're hot, you turn the aircon on, and vice versa. If you're cold, you turn the heater on. If you want food, you don't necessarily have to go get it anymore. You can order it. Everything's become so easy. So I like the fact that it's adversity, because we were talking about this in the spa last night, that the new generation coming through is so emotionally aware and connected, which is awesome because the generations before weren't doing that, especially in men. But that doesn't come with consequences, as you were saying. So now that they're doing that, they're avoiding hard stuff, hard conversations, physically challenging things, which means they're missing the ability to deal with stress or to critical think, which are all important. Problem solve, yeah, which are all important skills to develop. So I think we need to swing the pendulum to the middle a little bit, which is why we seek out opportunities to do something challenging. And whether that's an ice bath, it might be having a tough conversation, it could be going for a long run or a gym session. It's giving your body that opportunity to deal with adversity. That's the first thing that I love about it, because I think, yeah, you can be as emotionally aware as you want, but if you're a soft cock, I can say that. I'm going to say that because, anyway, build up to it. Anyway, so then second reason is anxiety. I'm socially anxious, which is why I always depended on alcohol in social situations. And I do stress out a lot because I overthink things. I live in fear, yada, yada, yada. What the cold water has taught me to do is control that stress response, to learn to breathe properly. Most people, when they jump in, their initial response is, which was mine, and it probably still is when you first get in there. But the ability to go, okay, I'm not dying. Let's just control my breath here. How do I want to respond to this? Let's get comfortable. That you can then put into other areas in all of your life. So it's a good way to train that.
Yeah.
They're my 2 reasons.
Yeah, they're good reasons. Yeah, plus all the physical benefits. I mean, are these proven?
Look, you can find, as with everything, go on the internet, you can find pros and cons to everything. You can find research to back up both sides, whether it's fasting, cold plunging, even exercising. But a great thing I heard recently was the Iron Cowboy, so he's coming on the podcast in a few weeks, did 50 Ironman.
Your podcast.
Yeah, on my podcast. So 50 Ironman in 50 days across 50 states with his family. So there was some days he was having 1 hour sleep. And for those of you who don't know what an Ironman is, it's a 3.7 kilometer swim into a 180 kilometer ride into a marathon, so 42.2 kilometers. So it's about 14 hours of exercise a day. And people were just being like, that's so unsafe. Your heart rate's not designed to go that hard for that long. And he's obviously got a medical team with him and tracking it all. And his average heart rate was about 120 beats a minute. And his response, I thought was quite clever, was most obese people are walking around with their heart rate about around that 100 above every single day with worse blood pressure. So you tell me which is worse. And so I think everyone's unique, everyone's individual, everyone has different ideas of what success is and what is stressful and what is important. And so if you can build your life around those things and just focus on what you want. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Everyone thinks that their way is the only way and anyone else doing anything different is completely wrong. I don't care if, personally, I'm hijacking the conversation, aren't I?
We're going to bring it back to couple goals.
Cool. Back to couple goals. But I have an idea of how I want to live my life and what I think is correct.
Yeah, but it's your body, your choice, which obviously I'm a big believer in.
But I don't if people want to live another way, that's completely fine. It doesn't bother me because it's not like I'm following them on social media. I follow people who have similar interests or maybe people who have different points. But unless they're like in my direct circle and it's impacting me, I don't care.
I also like it how we've been doing it together. Not every day, because I don't do it every day. I do it like every third day.
I've been really impressed. I always think like, I wonder how many other men are lucky enough to have a wife that like challenges herself. Because I think there's something sexy about it. It was for me, because it's a quality that I value. I value growth and like seeing what you're capable of. And you do that in music. And it's always impressive to me watching you perform because I'm like, that's like your thing. and you're writing new music, and even this tour we're doing, you're not taking a guitarist for the first time, which is probably uncomfortable for you. But for me, I'm like, that's fucking cool, because now you're about to put yourself in a situation you've never been in. And then so for me, I admire that because that's what I admire in myself. Whereas I don't think personally I would be able to, I don't think we would be together if you weren't so motivated in your own ways. It wouldn't work well for me. And I'm sure probably vice versa, right?
Yeah, I think you've always got to be growing, and there are times where I can feel myself getting comfortable and I'm not challenging myself, and I start to get bored.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just start to get depressed then as well. So I've got to have a challenge, always be pushing myself, but also you push me, because I probably would never I hate cold water. I cannot be one of those people who have a cold shower. If the hot water's off for any reason, I am the last person to get in the shower. Like, I will sponge bath myself before I get under that cold. Literally, I've done that before. One time in Melbourne when we were staying at Airbnb.
Oh, sponge
I
bath.
had to sponge bath my bits, because it was just too cold for me to get under. So it's been a real challenge getting in that ice bath, but I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for you being there. You know, you're there for all my ice baths.
Gotta be. Safety first,
Counting
don't do them
down.
alone.
Yeah, you don't do them alone, but it's been really nice to have you there, talking me through it, telling me how to breathe, counting me down. It's nice that we get to do that together. A challenge. I think it's important to have individual challenges, but also challenges that we face together as well.
Yeah.
And get through them.
That's life. Because we're doing that in a controlled situation, right? Like, I think one of the other beautiful things about relationships is there's 3 phases. And I think we've spoken about this on the podcast maybe, but it's like your honeymoon phase, where it's just like all the wild sex and the fun new stuff, but you're also hiding parts of yourself. You're trying to present the best version of yourself. Then you go into phase 2, which is where most people stay and either hate it or break up, where you start becoming comfortable. So you start showing maybe some perceived flaws, right? Eating habits, viewpoints, whatever. And if you don't address them and have good communication, whatever it is, you bicker and go, fuck this person, let's split up. Or you are like another person who doesn't split up and they just have this toxic relationship. Where you can then go together is like, you accept that we're all, I've got shit, you've got shit. It's always going to happen. And I'm not perfect. Probably 75% of the time I'm probably tough to deal with. But you accept that because you also know you've got your own stuff to work on, and we're collectively highlighting that within each other. I think you highlight within me the stuff that I've got to work on, because it pisses me off sometimes. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just me. I need to work on that. And I want to work on that because for us as a couple, it's worthwhile doing. And so it's not always easy, but we don't fight heaps.
No.
Which is good.
No, I don't think so either, which is good.
I can't remember the last fight we had.
No, we definitely talk about things and express our
frustration. Yeah, but there's never like a screaming match or anything.
No. So a lot of people on Instagram have been asking me why we got banned from the pool. And well, it's not surprising. Like, if this was Australia, they would have locked the pool gate.
We got to have a fence around the bloody pool.
We don't have any of that here. There's like no rules in America, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would have locked the gate if the pool dropped below 20
degrees Celsius.
But we've been cold plunging all throughout the snow, and then the pool froze over completely, and so we were still able to crack a hole in the pool. And
That's wild, wasn't it?
Yeah. The maintenance guy wasn't really happy with us, and I think it's more to do with like the building being scared that we're going to sue them. Like, if something happens, we slip over, or if we were, not that we would ever, but if we were to like swim under the ice as a challenge and then not be able to find our way up.
Yeah, that when I heard that, I was like, I can understand that. I wouldn't do that ever.
Yeah, but they don't know us.
Yeah, but I can understand. Because, as you said, there was girls walking on the fucking ice the other night at 2 a.m. drunk. So you can see, I can understand that. And what upsets me is most of the rules enforced are for the lowest common denominator of idiot, which ruins it for everyone. And that's sad that we're at that point. However, I can also appreciate that if I was going to get sued, I'd be like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just waiting for the ice to melt a little bit to see when we're allowed to go back. But yeah, we're lucky our friends have got an ice bath, and we're actually house sitting for them.
Yeah, that's going to be wicked.
On
And they had
Saturday.
a hot tub, so we were hot tubbing last night, ice bathing, hot tubbing, contrast therapy. Awesome fun.
Should we talk about the friends that we've been making?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we finally started to find our people. I think that was one of the biggest challenges. And talking to people who have moved overseas as well have said the same thing. Like, it takes a year to really settle in and to really meet your people, find your coffee shops, find your hairdresser. Like, that all takes a lot of time.
Everyone's probably looking at me saying, Lockie, you need a haircut.
Yeah, Lockie hasn't found his hairdresser yet. He got one. How much was it?
Oh, $16.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care for a haircut, though. Like, I'm not the...
Yeah, but now that you've had a bad one.
Yeah, but I'm also just thinking, should Liam just shave my head?
No.
Because he bought some clippers the other day.
Oh, God.
So
No, I forbid it.
I'm all about convenience.
I might learn how to cut your hair.
Well, that would be cool.
I mean,
do you
maybe
reckon
we'll do
Amy
that.
should learn how to cut my hair?
Should we do it? Like, I'll do a YouTube tutorial.
Maybe do
and
a
then
couple of
maybe we'll
tutorials
live
first.
stream it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
If you
could
guys want, let us know.
Could you watch a couple of videos first?
I will.
And maybe get like a potato head thing and practice.
A
on
bowl?
that. Yeah. Practice.
Well, I got my hair done yesterday, which was great.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
It does look good.
I'm
Looks
really
good.
happy I found a great hairdresser, but it ain't cheap. And it's not her fault. Like, her prices were really reasonable, but it's the exchange rate.
Oh, yeah, that still gets us. That's a bee in the bonnet. But
Yeah.
part of taking the risk is the sacrifices that need to be made
Yep.
and the challenges that you will face. That's my
Yeah.
part.
But anyway, we've met some really great friends, mostly other couples, and
Yeah.
unsurprisingly.
I wonder if they've listened to our couple goals.
We're trying to get them on the podcast. Our friends Courtney Wilson and Ryan.
They're
have-
awesome.
They're awesome people. Courtney is in the public eye as well. She's got her own TV show. What's it called? Home Improvement
I actually don't know.
with Courtney Wilson.
I don't look, to be honest, once again, those who know me, I don't follow TV or any of that. So
Yeah, like I didn't know her before, but I'm so glad I met
My
her. 'cause
sister
we
did.
have, yeah.
Oh, this is wild. So my sister lived in Nashville, 15 years ago or so. And my sister saw us hanging out with Courtney. She's like, how the hell are you hanging out with all these people that I know, like have grown up watching, and now you're friends with them? And so on Christmas Eve, we FaceTime my sister with Courtney. And my sister's on the other line, and she's like, hello? And Courtney's like, hey, girl, you're my best friend. Or something like that. And my sister's just gone like beetroot red. It was the funniest thing to watch. I was like, are you blushing? She's like, I don't know why I'm going so red. I'm like, that's blushing. And then they had a good conversation anyway. So that was cool.
But they're really great people. They've really looked after us. They've let us into their home and their family.
They're
I feel
very
really-
welcoming people.
Yeah, I feel really, really lucky to have met them.
And Ryan's a legend too.
Ryan's Courtney's husband, and he's been ice bathing with us. Courtney's been ice bathing, and we're going to get them on the podcast at some stage. They're actually off to Ethiopia soon.
Saturday when we go over there.
Yeah, so we're going and looking after the kids, feeding the dogs, and they are going on a grand adventure. They do a lot of charity work, and I hope that we can go to Ethiopia with them next time.
That would be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the bucket list.
That'd be
But yeah,
cool.
go and check her out on Instagram because she does some really great work.
Check Ryan out too.
But we'll save a bit for the conversation about gushing too much over
Right,
them.
next friends.
We've got Forrest and Tiff.
Yep.
So we've been friends for Forrest for years and years, like since we started the band, really.
Yeah, well, you've
We've
known
come
him
up
since like
together.
2011, right? Because I've known him
Earlier
since
than that, was it?
2013.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 2011 probably. We met him at a showcase at the Hard Rock Cafe in LA, and we just clicked. Like, that was the best.
He was like the Vegemite to your bread or something.
Don't know
That
about
sounds very, very
It's not like that.
Yeah, that wasn't
He's-
right. But like I meant like it went together.
He's like our Canadian brother.
yeah.
And he's just been married to beautiful Tiffany, and her nickname's Toolie.
She's awesome.
And she's awesome. She's beautiful. She's talented. And they have recently moved to Nashville as well. So it's been really, really nice having somebody who we've known from the past here kind of experiencing similar challenges that we're facing. So we're hoping to get them on the podcast at some stage. No doubt they'll say yes.
100% I'll say yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
Then
then
we
we've
got-
met this other family who are siblings, and they're Australian. They're from Melbourne, and there's two sisters.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's kind of reminds us of like our family a little bit, where it's like Brady Bunch situation. Brady Bunch situation. Situation. And so it's two sisters. They're not twins, but they're married to twins. And so they have two kids between them, and the kids all look the same, so you forget which ones belong to which. But they're awesome people. They've been really friendly to us. It's, you know, nice to have a little girl gang to go for a walk and have a coffee with. And the boys get along. They go for runs.
Awesome. Very have tech startups, but also love the same stuff as we do. They wear their whoops. Yeah. Run into fitness. So it's cool.
So we're slowly meeting people.
Can't forget PB and Kieran.
Yeah, and Bernadette. So people who live in our building are awesome, and
they're like family. So we don't think of them as friends as we make, because we see them all the time, like every day.
So we've been really connecting with a lot of people in the building and trying to build a bit of a community. Bernadette, who lives across the hall from us, she's got a dog Tessie and two cats, and we've kind of adopted them as well. So we'll just open our door, and Bernadette will open her door, and the pets will just like come back.
It's literally something out of a movie, like Dr. Dolittle or something like that.
All the animals just come running.
Yeah, like Noah's Ark, and this is the new boat.
Little Ace Ventura reference there.
I didn't get it, so that was awesome. I just thought you were going for it.
Have you seen Ace Ventura?
Look, I probably have, but I don't have it. When people have a great memory for movies, I'm absolutely blown away, because I don't.
Like childhood movies, I can't forget because I just watch them over and over and over again.
But I think maybe that just means that I'm not really focused. Probably.
There'd be movies that you.
What's your pet peeve? Are we doing pet peeves on the solos?
I don't know. I feel like.
Do you guys like the pet peeves?
What I think we should do is pet peeves when we have a couple guests on,
and we just hear their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Because our pet peeves ended up being kind of the same thing. It's like you woke me up this morning, and I was on my phone late at night.
What time did you go to bed last night, Ashley?
Late. Midnight.
This is me. Like, I'm so routine. I think one of your questions was, how do we find routine? Or have you struggled with not having it? I literally have created the exact same routine in Nashville as I had in Brisbane. Exact same. My days look the exact same, which is, I don't know whether that's good or not, but for me, it's just like process. It's worked well for me.
Mine's been a bit different. But it's not a bad thing or a good thing.
No,
like
that's what, once again, whatever works for you.
I actually will say I've had less distractions. So that's one thing that Nashville has really offered me. Especially because I don't have that many friends, and the friends that I do have kids, and everyone here is really busy hustling. So throughout the week, it's just like I wake up, I go to the gym, I do my ice bath every second day, and then have a shower, eat, and then either I go to a writing session or I will stay here, practice guitar, come up with some ideas to bring to writing sessions in the future. I'll do my content. And by the time, what's that?
It's dinner time,
yeah, like I go to the shops and then dinner. So
it's not bad.
It's but yeah, Nashville has really afforded me time and space to really get creative and focus in, have a bit more time with being able to come up with songwriting ideas every day. Because in Brisbane, they're not bad distractions, but there was like always some like radio interview or like media, or just even like catching up with friends, going out for lunch, all those fun things as well, which I really miss. But here, there's no distractions. I have nothing else to do but practice guitar and sing and do content.
I've been practicing guitar like a wild, maybe not this last week, but a heap. Yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy not having distractions. It's like things that maybe aren't as important that I would just do for the sake of doing.
Yeah. The things that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like river walks.
But I think now it's like because we're starting from scratch, it's like we're building and doing the things that we actually want to do, because everything requires more effort to make it a habit or routine. So rather than doing stuff that was just habit that maybe wasn't super important, it's like, why would I bother? I don't know. Who knows?
We're working it out.
That is like counting how many stars are in the sky. Impossible.
All right, guys. Well, we might wrap it up there. We're actually going on tour right now. I'm going on a radio tour, which is super exciting. Lockie's driving.
So
fortunate
exciting
to have someone who's that supportive that
But-
they would drive across the country for me.
Do you know what we're doing though? Which is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be awesome. We're having a university on wheels. So here's my thing. We will play plenty of Luke Combs and music for sure, because we've got like 60 hours of driving this week, and then in 2 weeks' time we've got another 60 hours. But I'm like, rather than just sitting there and, you know, for me, I'd normally be doing that here. Why don't you choose a podcast? I'll choose a podcast about something that we want to learn about and where we can both learn. And then it'll give us something to talk about on this podcast as well.
Does true crime podcast count as learning? Because I think we're going to get kind of tired after. I think we'll learn with your podcast.
We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Let's see how we go.
Okay.
We might be on a roll. You might get into a really good podcast about, like, you know, I'm going through a phase of loving to listen to like a lot of endurance athletes, just around like their mindset, their nutrition,
Can we not
how they modify their, like, for me, because that's like, I'm looking to do a huge event at the end of the year. So I want
That's
to.
really boring for me.
Yeah, but you're going to have to be my support crew during that period. So it's like, you need to know,
Okay.
just out of like survival for me.
But if it's like I can't listen to a podcast that's longer than an hour.
Yeah, I agree. 3 hours is fucking, you lose me.
At least we can agree there.
And one other thing, just quickly, I'm just doing this to get everyone to hold us accountable. There's this cool place in Minnesota. So we're going to Minnesota. I was just checking the schedule. There's a place called Sauna Camps. Check it out on Instagram. It is legit. It's open from like November to May. Anyway, it's a 100-acre farm. They have all these big barrel saunas, now public ones or private ones. And then they've cut holes in the lake and use them as ice baths and have these brilliant setups. So I was looking and I was like, my birthday's coming up. We can hire a private sauna for about $300 for 3 hours, which to me is like awesome because people would spend that on booze. That's what I want to do. There's a good session from 5 p.m. and we arrive literally just before 5.
Well, you didn't tell, just quickly, you didn't tell everyone how you're doing a year no beer.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a year of no alcohol. I've never done it. I think the most I've done is like maybe 5 months, which I'm excited about. I'm on day 23. And I'm also doing 365 days of something challenging. So I'm on day 61. So that's been ice baths, runs. Yesterday, you guys made me do 100 burpees. I've done an hour meditation, which was that was probably the hardest.
Ooh.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And then I played I spoke while playing the guitar on one. That just fried my brain. Absolutely. So I haven't gone back to that. But just always trying to do something challenging that is going to improve my life. And it's just more the consistency. It blows my mind how impressed people are by consistency. Anyway, that's...
I want to say that I'm doing dry January as
I'm
well.
so sorry.
And I'm actually going to try and get... Because, we're coming back to Australia in March, guys.
No, February, man.
February. End of February, we'll be home. We're doing... So after these radio tours, we're going to LA for 2 weeks. George and I are going to be doing writing. And then we're flying home. I'm going to be doing Meat Stock. So there's one show in Toowoomba, which is sold out. There's one show in Bendigo. I'm not sure if it's sold out.
Toowoomba's where it's at, you know?
Yeah. Go visit the fam. And then, we're pretty much home for a month, which is really exciting. And then we're going to be back here. But yeah, no drinking until I'm back in Australia. So I'm pretty excited for that challenge.
Oh, you're not drinking until Oz?
Yeah.
Nice. Good on you.
So that's going to be like 3 months.
Oh, you didn't say the other goal you'd set around songs.
Yeah, I'm going to write 100 songs
for the
this
year. Patreoners will probably get to see that.
I've already written... This includes Shepherd songs, right?
Yeah, just songs, right?
So
if you're in Patreon, I'm going to start getting Amy to post them because that means I don't have to do content.
I normally do.
I'm not in the Patreon, so I don't know.
If you're in the Patreon and you've got the... I can't remember what the tier is, but the $5 tier.
Yep.
You get the BTS access. So you let me know your Instagram. I follow you back. I put you into my close
For
friends.
$5?
Yeah, a cup of coffee.
For a month?
Yeah. And then you get to see, I think it might be 15. I got to check.
Yeah. Well,
but now you've thrown me off.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can see my behind the scenes and my songs.
Where can they find that link?
It's on my Instagram page.
Cool. Go to Amy's Instagram. Is it on our Couple Girls Instagram? We'll put it on there too, just because it makes it easier.
Yeah, it's a link tree, and then you could just follow down to Patreon.
Awesome.
And then you can see all the different tiers there. There's a few there, so I get a bit confused of which one's which. But I think that it's been really fun doing my behind the scenes content and sharing my song ideas, sharing a little bit of extra BTS, and I'm going to be doing that for this radio tour as well. So stay tuned, join the close friends circle, and also we'll be posting more couple calls content on the Patreon group as well.
Oh yeah, maybe like some. Yeah, anyway, we don't need to go into that now because that's 35 minutes. We've gone 15 minutes over. Very sorry. Hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Uru.
Uru.